All right, we're live.
And we are live. There we go. From the industrial wastelands of Michigan to the fruited plains of Iowa, this is the American Greed Factory.
Why relate to its sheer perversity?
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered.
We burn them to ashes and then burn the ashes. That's our official motto.
Now we can see you. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Stand out in the middle of the room. Stand back to back.
Who can explain the fascination of fire? What draws us to it, whether we're young or old?
Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head.
And welcome to the American Greed Factory podcast. This is Nathan.
This is Conlon.
And tonight we have many things to discuss about. Earth-shattering, important things to talk about. I think right off the bat, some amazing podcast news, interesting podcast news is Mark Maron interviewed President Barack Obama. WTF. It will be available Monday, which is pretty
big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's a big get.
It's a big get for podcasting for Mark Maron. I don't know if the fact that he has a TV show helps. Probably, usually does.
Well, has like This American Life ever interviewed the president before or anything?
I don't
that's
think
that's the only like podcast, but it's technically NPR that's bigger than that or Adam Carolla.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know of anyone who's interviewed the president on a podcast before.
No,
so that's especially a podcast that basically means "what the fuck." I mean, that's like the title.
Hey, Mr. President,
what the fuck? But you know, well, Barack Obama did the Zach Galifianakis. Was it Between Two Ferns or
yeah?
Which that was just like he was there to talk about Affordable Health Care Act, and Zach Galifianakis was there to be Zach Galifianakis. So yeah, I think he has a weird thing. Like I'm going to do this.
New media.
Yeah. Well, they did an hour of the president's time is like insane. I mean, he was out there fundraising in SoCal. So, but still, it's like that's astounding to get an hour.
Well, I mean, if you imagine like if he had to do like the Tonight Show, there would be a whole rigmarole. Like, we're gonna set this up, and like you're gonna be waiting for 20 minutes, and we're gonna bring the president in, and then we're gonna do 15 minutes, then we're gone, and it's like, but with the podcast, it's like, hey, Mr. President, walk into my garage. We're recording.
That was pretty much it. He said that's because that's where they did it, in the garage. You know, there was nothing. He did a interview for one of the local news affiliates there, and they were like, "How do you feel about this?" And he's like, I don't care who you are or what your political affiliation is. When you're an American and you get to interview the president on something that you made up, that's a big deal. You know, that's amazing.
I was gonna kill myself 3 years ago till this shit happened.
I was suicidal. I mean, I don't know. I imagine I would love to be a fly on the wall for the conversations that, like, hey, got this idea. It's like, how can we vet this guy? Yeah, I mean, it's real safe territory, though.
Yeah, but like I have to imagine
Aaron's a leftist, so
yeah. But I also, well, it's just have to imagine that they approached him and not the other way around.
Oh yeah. No, he didn't like go through the White House press, pool and like, hey, you want to interview me, or can I interview you? But no, that's a pretty good deal. I think it's the first president on a podcast.
It has to be.
Yeah, and it is actually the podcast. It's not the TV show. So
yeah,
that's
cool. The podcast is still bigger.
Yeah.
Just the TV show is a thing.
They did the same kind of selfie though.
Yeah,
it's like him and Obama,
just by that fence in the backyard.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and they showed some pictures and his neighbor who's always running the leaf blower or whatever, and they have to go outside. It's like, hey, we're doing something here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they had all the snipers on his neighbor. His neighbor was really excited. Like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened. So that was a good thing. Oh. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm showing that I have no internet connection at all. What?
Okay.
That can't be right. Hold on. Why are we not? Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking. Anyway, so that was I don't know what that is, but yeah, that was pretty amazing. I heard that. I think I heard it yesterday.
I saw a tweet and it said about to do an interview with POTUS. I'm like, is this like a joke account or something? I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, really?
That's the real Mark Maron. Yeah, but that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Mark Maron's generally a person I can tolerate. He does intense interviews, so
Pretty sure that'll blow up iTunes and whatever. Oh yeah, because he's with Libsyn, so I was gonna crash Libsyn when that episode gets released.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll kill everything. But yeah, they talked about, I mean, I haven't heard it yet, but it says like, what did you talk about? It's everything. Talked about the shooting in the Carolinas, talked about politics and all that stuff.
Basically agreed with each other for over an hour.
Well, yeah, like I said, Mark Maron's pretty he doesn't get political anymore, or at least I haven't heard it in a while. But I remember him on Air America, and it was like, oh shit, like this is like far left.
Well, that's when he used to like read everything and be on top of everything. Now it's just more he likes to relate to people more and humanely.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, do you have some weird fucked up like thing wrong with you that I can like latch onto? Because like I'm addicted to everything.
Let's talk about cancer and fear. Oh. Yeah, but that was good. I was glad to hear that. It's like, yeah, it's good for podcasting. Next will be who would be next?
That's like the biggest get. Oh, who he'd go to?
Yeah, who should POTUS go? Yeah, Adam Carolla. That'd be great. I don't think they would go to Adam Carolla.
No, he'd be on Rush Limbaugh before he go to Adam Carolla.
You could do the DePaulo, Nick DePaulo.
Just like 45 seconds in. What do you think of the blacks?
Yeah. The thing with the blacks, Mr. President. What do you know about the blacks? It's like, oh, well, this interview is over.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks for stopping by. Yep. Talk about being on the map.
Does Nick Follow have a podcast?
Yeah.
I guess everybody does, but
Riotcast. It's actually, I mean, he records it in his bedroom or something. It's funny. I mean, Nick DePaulo is like good in small doses, but it's like an hour, and I listen to it at 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
because it gets so right wing sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break here.
It'd be awesome just to have him be a fly on the wall for a Joe Rogan podcast, where Joe Rogan spends like an hour and a half talking about like some weird pharmaceutical he's taking to hallucinate, and like he should, and then Barack Obama's just on
Well, that's some people, if that's what they choose to do. That'd be great. POTUS on Rogan. Sometimes Rogan the show gets so nasty.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have Joey Diaz on the same time.
Oh, I tell you what, Barack Obama, this is how it goes down. Oh, I can't do a good Joey Diaz.
When I back in '73, when I was stealing Trans Am T-tops in New York City
for my mom, who ran the unlicensed bar, all the Cubans drank at it. Yeah, that would be a great show. What if that's how President Obama just went out? It's like, I'm doing every podcast I can get on. Would yeah, dude, because they've only done one guest, right?
Have they done a guest?
Do they ever do guests? No, I don't think they do.
They don't, because they always get like letters like, why don't you have this guy on? He's like, that's not what we do. The only time closest thing they had to a guest is that one time Jonathan called up his dad for his birthday, and that was like really early on.
Yeah.
That was like technically the only guest they ever had on the show, and it was like 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was like 5 minutes before it was going to be the Jesus and John show, but they changed their mind. Yeah, that was pretty amazing, though. Good for podcasting. Let's see what else. Other podcasts. Oh, Joe DeRosa's canceling his podcast. That's another comedian.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was one of the Open and Anthony Corral of comedians. That
okay.
When I was on that show, I think
he hangs out with Joe Rogan a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I associate him more with the old O&A show, but yeah, he decided that he's done. He announced that on the Allison Rosen podcast. Weird. All these emotional podcasts, or podcasts with emotions associated with them. So,
just can't do it anymore. It's like, it's all mine, so I'm going to burn it to the ground before anybody else does.
She should have suggested, well, why don't you just text everyone that you're canceling the podcast? Because, that's how you communicate with people, by text when they're out completely across the country. Oh, by the way, you're fired. Thanks, Adam. Tough guy.
No problem. Okay, bye.
Talk to you later. Oh, man. Well, Faye, I don't know if you don't really watch a lot of the political shows I do, so this is going to mean nothing to you, but
okay.
Face the Nation has a new host now.
Oh, yeah?
First new guy, and Bob Schaefer did it for 14 years.
Which one's Face the Nation? Is that like the show that's on Saturday morning?
It's on. I always catch it on Sunday morning. It used to be a half hour. It's just a real bare bones. Like, we have a picture of the Capitol building in the background, and we're going to sit down and ask really probing questions. It was a half an hour. Then it got boosted up to an hour. We used to only get the half hour here. Now we get the full hour. I always, if I'm not watching it tomorrow morning, I'm going to DVR it and watch it when I'm eating dinner or something. But it's a real good, it's sort of like, let's take you out of the craziness and firing questions at a press conference, and let's sit down and talk. And,
yeah.
Bob Schaefer was pretty good at that. Trying to think of where you'd know him from. Probably wouldn't anywhere, but he was always he's been the face of that for a long time. And it's I think it's a CBS program. Yeah, CBS. And I always watch it every week. I mean, sometimes it's I don't like the guests and I'll just delete it, but typically I watch it once a week. And surprisingly, they're well, not surprisingly, but I think it's kind of surprising because they're I just erased it. That's great. Yeah, my great. I have no internet according to my everything in front of me, but yet I'm still doing it. John Dickerson is going to replace him. And I don't know if you know him. I know him from the Slate Political Gab Fest, and he also worked at Time Magazine for a long time. He's like a real left-wing journalist who's kind of comes across like Fred Rogers. He's this really sincere guy who knows minute, obscure details about the presidency of the United States and all the presidents. He'll bring up this reminds me of Chester Garfield's second term. What the fuck are you even talking about? And he'll pull some fact out. But he's the one who always flat-footed Bush when Bush was president, and because Bush would give I remember he had some glib answer about what was your worst mistake, you think, and it was when he owned the baseball team and it was trading a player or something like that. And John Dickerson came back. He says, okay, since 9/11, what's been your worst mistake? And the president was like, I wish you would have asked me that question in writing beforehand so I could have a better answer. And because it was basically he's trying to get him to admit, wasn't the Iraq War a bad idea? But of course that never came out of his mouth. But I forget what else he did. He had something to do with the Valerie Plame, when they were trying to expose the lady and her husband when they were CIA officers. You remember that whole fiasco back in
yeah.
Yeah, he was like one of the main writers on that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's good. I mean, he's a real, like I said, he's your typical leftist East Coast journalism guy. But I enjoy listening to him. But I'm surprised they picked a guy that polarizing to do Face the Nation. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll do because it's when they do stuff like that, it makes Fox News justifiable when Fox News should never be justifiable. But then when you have guys, I don't know. We'll see how I do. I mean, I enjoy listening to them, but I don't. I always liked Face the Nation for its kind of like we're going to ask questions. I mean, it's all this. It all happens in this vacuum of emotionalism and hand wringing that typically comes from the media. But we'll see. See if they. Hope they don't wreck that for me. I'm starting to run out of things I like to DVR.
So I was slightly distracted trying to look for a Reddit post that I can't find anymore. But
what was it about?
It was about really strange graph comparisons, like weird correlations. About it was like, here's strange correlations that these things basically have nothing to do with each other, but according to like this, they do. It's like Nazi internment camps and brushing your teeth or some weird shit like that.
Really?
It's like, here's where they correlate. But anyways, I
can't find that.
No, so I can't remember what even set me off on that. Like, I need to find that. Oh, anyways.
Got some Florida news this week. Haven't done this in a while. These are some good ones.
Insert stinger here.
Dun, dun, dun.
They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
There's one. There you go. 2 roommates, 2 women were fighting over a dog, and one of the ladies bit the dog. Yep. She decided that they were arguing over who got to keep the dog if one left, and so the lady decided to bite the dog.
This one's mine.
Yeah, I want to take this. It's the favorite. Wow. Someone was exposing his penis while walking down some Route 723 in Florida, which is a major interchange. When the police arrested him, he said he was just airing it out, taking a walk, and there's nothing sexual about this at all. He says he does this all the time, and he's never had a problem with it. Airing out his penis. Oh.
He's taking it for a walk.
The guy in Florida has a record for being arrested 120 times this year so far. Everything from retail theft, misdemeanor trespassing, and felony assault.
Is yet to combine into a jail sentence or a prison sentence?
Yeah, well, I think their prisons are so full down there. It's like you have to like kill 10 babies. Okay, let one out. This guy's got to go in. But yeah, there's some pretty sad ones. Potato salad rage leads to a woman's arrest. Lady was so angry that her 80-year-old father told her she couldn't eat his potato salad that she threatened him with a kitchen knife. And the
appropriate response.
It was also throwing things around the house, broke a television, a DVR, a DVD player. And,
all right, small claims court, here we come.
Yeah, and was arrested for threatening someone with a knife. Admitted she did it to the police when they showed up.
Of course I did it. Who won it? It's potato salad.
That's potato salad, motherfucker. Gotta have that shit. Here's a thing, for people that are in the midst of, we can't determine what to do with the skeletal remains of loved ones. Put them in a storage unit in a full casket because the family, there was a dispute over who was going to pay to have her interred in the ground. So while the dispute was going on, somebody just rented a storage unit and just rolled grandma right in there. These people went in to store other things there. Some people saw it from across the way and saw a casket in there. Somebody called the police, and they showed up and found the skeletal remains of a woman.
That was the best episode of Storage Wars.
Yes.
And this mummy.
How much for a corpse?
Priceless.
That was that's amazing. Where's Grandma? She's in the storage unit until we figure out who's in it.
I was gonna figure it out, and then I started watching Judge Judy.
Yeah, seeing all my relatives.
And then before you know it, was a CSI marathon. And what do you know? I forgot about Grandma.
I started eating ice cream and drinking beer in the hot summer sun.
I was like, well, I can't drive now. And every day the cycle repeated.
This is a story I can relate to because I weigh about as much as this guy. 346-pound man punches Domino pizza delivery guy for getting his garlic nuts.
The appropriate the Florida back down.
That's just how you respond to anything. If some doesn't go your way, it's like I tell Grayson whenever we go out, like, because sometimes we'll go shooting guns or whatever. It's like, look, if there's ever a problem in your life, go to guns first. Whatever's going on, arm yourself and all the other problems will melt away, kid. I'm serious. Best advice you could ever give. I'm totally fucking kidding there. That's here's a favorite Florida story. Florida orgy goes horribly wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, news story should be Florida orgy goes off without a hitch.
Yeah, that would be the actual see. A Florida swingers society orgy went horribly wrong when a jealous couple lost their cool during the carnal proceedings and began to assaulting each other.
Just reminds me of autofocus. It's just a group grope.
The woman named Tina, I won't say her whole name, 39, and her boyfriend, James, 56, were arrested while naked and charged with domestic battery following an aborted late-night orgy at their home. They were both swingers and brought other people to their home to have an orgy. There was about 25 people there, and somebody started having sex with somebody else, and then she proceeded to attack him, and he beat the shit out of her. There were split lips, missing teeth. And that they have a roommate who said the couple has a weird relationship. Yeah, wow. That's the understatement of the year.
Huh, no shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. This guy's actually been arrested before for putting a Craigslist ad up promising an orgy at a house, and people showed up in the home. The person who lived there, an 18-year-old, said, I promise there's no orgy here. And so this guy seems like a real winner. But yeah, that's I thought when it said orgy went horribly wrong that there was going to be
I thought someone was going to be on fire.
Yeah, someone's going to be on fire.
Especially with jealousy. It's Florida, home of the revenge fire.
Yep. What is this? Oh, man stabbed brother over missing mac and cheese and 6-pack of beer.
Again, the most appropriate response.
Yep. Where's my mac and cheese?
I like that these people are brandishing weapons, yet are arguing over like 88 cents worth of food.
It's fucking crazy. I don't know what it is. What is it? The heat? Is that it?
It's
We've
everything.
talked about this before, but it's like, this is the craziest stuff. I don't know. We just had this horror show here. These two guys broke into a house, stabbed a 12-year-old, his 23-year-old brother, and the mom almost to death. I mean, well, the 12-year-old and the 26-year-old were dead. The mom's like in critical condition. And when and this happened like a mile from my home. And these guys, everyone thought, oh, that's got to be some kind of drug thing, or that's just so insane. Because these people were from out of state going to, they were seeing we have this racetrack here, MIS. they were going to see an MIS event. They didn't even know anyone around here. They were staying at a friend's house, and they these two guys broke in and stabbed this 12-year-old and this 26-year-old. Like, I'll just stabbed. I mean, tore them apart. And then went after the mom, and she lived, but she's in critical condition. And then they arrested them. Finally, found out who they were, and they were like, "What happened? Why did you do this?" And basically, the guy said, "Oh, we just lost it." Like that was. wait a minute.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Did this help you find it? But,
no, man.
Florida man too fat for jail.
This reminds me of that Simpsons episode where Homer finds out he can work from home if he makes himself obese enough.
Oh, is that when he had the reaching stick?
Yeah.
I like that. That's my reaching stick. And he was wearing a muumuu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a good plan. Meet George. I can't even pronounce this last name. A 38-year-old, 600-pound Florida man arrested for scamming restaurants out of food. But then he was too fat for imprisonment. He's basically has a criminal eating habit. What he would do is he would go in, he would eat like half the meal and then send it back and say there was something wrong with it. And, and he can do that so many times. He like the thing that got him arrested, he ordered 5 milkshakes, drank them, and then said the milk was bad. How do you eat 5 milkshakes? God, that's a lot. Can your stomach even hold that much?
Sure.
5? I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you're not getting up to that gallon milk challenge, but
is that the thing they did on Jackass?
Yeah, they do that all over the place. Here, drink this and try not to throw up.
Yeah, because is it impossible? Doesn't your body like reject it for some reason?
Yeah, pretty much, but yeah. I mean, it's something to a time limit. You can drink a gallon of milk in a day, but it's like you have like 4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Then you're fighting your body and like what milk does to your body at the same time.
Ugh, yeah, I've seen that. Florida lawmaker. Here's Florida. This is why we want to elect, Jeb and anyone from that state who was ever governor, because they're really, when it comes to like their laws and stuff, their lawmakers are working for the people. Lawmaker files bill to repeal state ban on dwarf tossing in bars. He says that ban is limiting employment opportunities. I'm dead serious. Oh, Jesus.
Sure.
That's insane. Anyway, that's all I have for Florida news. I mean, there's a bunch more, but I'm going to save those gems for.
I feel a great sadness.
Yeah, there is. I don't have that loaded. There is a great sadness. Oh, my God. So, what was you saw Jurassic World?
Yeah.
Me and Grayson saw that a couple weeks or last week.
Yeah, it just came out last week.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I decided I had to give him more money.
So what were your thoughts on the movie?
It was okay. Weirdly, it seemed like they took like the framework to Aliens and then made Jurassic Park with it. Kind of.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to do research with these things and we're going to weaponize them and
yeah,
that kind of vibe.
Yeah, we're going to send in the Marines and then like they get like ambushed out of nowhere and some of them are visible and they're like getting picked up from up high and dragged away. It's like, oh, what's happening? Like then they start firing and then just everybody starts dying and then it's like, oh, we can't control these things. And then at the end, the chick opens up the door. It's almost like when Ripley's like going down the elevator and has like the flares and shit with her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was pretty.
It was fine, but
it was okay. I mean, it was real okay.
Yeah,
considering everything else that's out. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. there wasn't a whole lot of character development, but the characters were likable, especially like Chris Pratt. And like the kids, while still being insufferable kids, they at least like had this survival instinct to them that was like appreciable. It's like, oh, they're doing things to survive. They're not just being victims like half the people in the movie.
Yeah, it seemed to have an uneven quality to it, though.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with the Jurassic Parks movies that I've always seen is like the first one was really good.
Yeah.
Because it came from really strong source material.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a sequel. And that's the problem this had, even though it's, 10 years out from the last one or more?
Yeah.
Just a sequel. There's nothing, even though they're introducing new things, and they still have this weird, it's like we're gonna continue to try to have this theme park, even though how many people have died both on the park and in Southern California and other venues. It's what we're still gonna, not only are we gonna make dinosaurs, we're gonna make insanely dangerous hybrid dinosaurs and predators that never existed.
Yeah, that's like the thing is somebody says like, who's insuring this company? It's like, well, this has never worked before, like it's gonna work this time.
Yeah, there's like just a graveyard full of corpses or dinosaur shit as a result of this, but we're gonna keep on going.
Well, I mean, the sort of the presumption of this series is that like this park worked for a excessive amount of time to that now people are bored with it.
Yeah, I can know how you could ever get bored of shit like that. If it was real, that would never be boring.
And then you can see where they're going to sequelize it, where it's like, oh, this is where because that engine company comes in, they're trying to militarize these dinosaurs. It's like, oh, that's what the sequels is going to be, is militarized dinosaurs.
Yeah, it had a good cast. I mean, it's the lady, what's her name?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, Bryce Howard. Chris Pratt did a good Vincent D'Onofrio, always
Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. He always plays insufferable characters.
Yeah,
still think his best role ever was the guy in the drug dealer in the Salton Sea. I think everything else is just a part of that. But
and Full Metal Jacket.
Well, yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Private Pilot.
Yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, Chris Pratt's continuing to get the work.
Yeah. He's going to be in everything soon.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll have Pratt overload.
Yeah. Well, they're thinking about making him the next Indiana Jones, which wouldn't be bad. But it's like, is he going to just be the hero in everything now?
That's weird because he's just kind of a comedy actor.
Yeah.
Like he's best known for Parks and Recreation.
Well, no, now he's best known for that. What's that movie with Groot and shit like that?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he looks so different as a movie actor than he did on Parks and Recreations. I mean,
yeah.
It's like, wow, 40 pounds is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, this guy looks different.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. He'll be this
this
generation's Clint Eastwood.
Huh. I guess.
No, I don't know. I'm just throwing.
I was almost comparing him to Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford's not really like a funny guy. But I think he gets that kind of like earthiness down or whatever, kind of dead, whatever.
I know what you mean.
It's like he's not, it's like he's got that George Bush thing going for him. Like I could have a beer with that guy.
Yeah, I like him. Even though I can't stand his politics. Oh, what else has come out movie-wise that we've seen recently? What are we looking forward to? This is like been a barren summer.
No, there's been a bunch of shit out, but it's like all PG-13 movies.
Yeah,
and I've seen a bunch of them. I still haven't seen the Avengers movie. It's still out there, so
yeah, it's waiting for you.
Mad Max was great, and that's kind of the summer movie.
Yeah, I did like the Mad Max.
And
what does come out that looks interesting?
Well, nothing more, but like the Terminator movie's like the next one to come out.
Ted 2.
Yeah.
Not really feeling that.
No, but comedy sequels always suck, but I imagine it'll still be a funny movie. And I think, and plus Mark Wahlberg as a comedic actor he's pretty good at it. Especially in the character he's playing is basically he's like how you always think Mark Wahlberg is just a bumbling idiot that smokes a bunch of weed.
Speaking of which, Age of Extinction came up for free on Prime. The Transformers movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that for free.
Get your money's worth.
Well, I mean, at 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it was basically a continuous fight. It never really, it sort of let up a little bit, but it was just, I mean, yeah, I could see why people didn't. It wasn't horrible, but I could see why people didn't like it. Like, if you went to a theater to watch that, unless you were totally into just things exploding, I could see why it would be a bit of a stretch. Why you'd be like, oh God, please kill me.
I mean, that's all you're looking forward to in those movies was just things exploding, basically, because the plots are always just incoherent nonsense that's unrelatable.
Oh, yeah, and it was more of that. Optimus Prime expounding on strange, liberty and freedom is like, what do you fucking swing that sword, dude? And of course, this one was set mostly in China.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They always do that. They always wind up in China because that's who's funding a lot of these movies now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Also, you can just get billions of dollars straight out of China.
Yeah. So they always set. Who was the guy? The guy who plays Bosch. What's his name? Why can't I think of his name?
To the internet.
Yeah, Jesus. Isn't like Titus Welliver or something like that?
Yeah, Titus Welliver.
Yeah, he played a really evil person in that movie. He got killed, of course. And who else was in it? The guy from I always think the Fraser guy. He played the evil CIA guy. I can't think of his name. Anyway, that's not even what we were talking about. But it's like I finally saw that.
So just
Grayson's like his next movie he wants to see is Bridge of Spies. That's what he's looking forward to.
All right.
He really liked the Jurassic World though.
Yeah. No, that was a fine movie. I just like it. I left that movie. It's with a completely blank slate. It's like I enjoyed myself. I'm not sure why now.
I'm not feeling bad about this, but I can't rationalize my feelings.
I saw it in 3D too. So.
Oh, how was that?
That was fine. It didn't really help it, but I had my contacts in, so I finally got to see, a movie in 3D that wasn't so awkward with like 2 pairs of glasses on.
Yeah. I didn't know you wore glasses.
You mean contacts?
Or yeah, contacts. Yeah.
I usually don't because I hate them.
Oh.
I hate to have to touch my eyeball, especially in the morning.
Yeah, that is weird. I couldn't imagine that. I mean, I'm lucky I don't have to do any of that stuff because I wouldn't. Just wear glasses.
I can't remember. There's some trailer I saw. I can't remember. It's for some movie that's supposed to be coming out like in November that seemed interesting. I'm trying to. Oh, I think never mind. I'm just thinking of that Martian movie. Never mind. That's the thing I'm looking forward to next.
Oh, The Martian. Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be pretty good. So, what's the video game thing? E3. What's going on there? Now that I have an Xbox One, what should I be waiting for with bated breath?
The Xbox One, they got a bunch of original stuff. I can't remember what it is right now off the top of my head, but they got a lot of stuff you're not going to be getting anywhere else, especially like Forza and stuff like that. The coolest thing they showed at their press conference was this thing that's called HoloLens,
Okay.
which is kind of like Google Glass but way more sophisticated.
Okay.
So it's like a visor that goes over. It's like a visor that goes over your head, and then it does augmented reality. So like projects things onto things you're actually seeing. And so like, you know, they have a table set up, and then like they had a camera with Google Glass on it, and this is like the best presentation of this shit you could ever have, because like a lot of this VR stuff, like the only way you can experience is if you experience it yourself. If you just see a video of it, it doesn't make sense because it's not coming at you in 3D or whatever, unless you have a, you know, one yourself.
Right.
But here they had the camera set up with the HoloLens on it, and so it shows a table, and they're playing Minecraft, and they like pop up the world onto the table like in 3 dimensions, like it's coming out of the table. And then he's like walking into it, and he can like kind of put his face into the world and like look inside things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he can just look at a wall, and he'll like project the game onto the wall like in 2D, and then he can just like play the game. And then like they cut to the camera that doesn't have the HoloLens. It's like, oh, these people are fucking insane because there's just nothing there. There's nothing there.
They look like they're freaking out. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with these people?
Which is like and there's a bunch of VR stuff there at E3. And that's kind of like the goofy thing about VR is like once you put it on, you kind of get lost in this world. It's like suddenly your mouth is agape, and then you're kind of like reaching around like this for things. You just look like a fucking moron. But you're experiencing new worlds. Yeah, that's what the most people are impressed about. And there's even a new VR competitor out there just out of nowhere. There's this video game company called Starbreeze. They made like the Chronicles of Riddick games. They made
Okay, I remember those.
They made the Syndicate game, which was a really awesome game that everybody should play. Like there's some company in Europe that was like making VR, and they just like bought them, like, and so now they have their own VR helmet, and it's different because it actually like it accounts for your peripheral vision. So it has like, so I guess the way that they talk about the VR helmets is that they basically have two cell phones like angled at you to create the 3D, but they're like kind of this way, and so they just take those two cell phones and angle them this way, so it's like more, so it encompasses your peripheral vision.
Oh, okay.
And then they had a demo because apparently now they have like the rights to the Walking Dead video games, so they're gonna be making a new Walking Dead video game.
Oh, okay.
So they had a demo set up where they put you in a wheelchair, and so you don't walk around in the demo. The demo, like you're in a wheelchair, like being pushed around or something. And then they hand you a shotgun, and then like on the fake shotgun is like these two cubes with like QR codes on it so that the VR thing can track it. And so you actually have like a shotgun in the game, and you're pumping it and stuff like that, and you're aiming it, and you're looking down the sights or whatever. But you're actually doing it while you're in a wheelchair shooting zombies.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah. And then and then they were talking more about the HoloLens stuff. They had like this Halo thing set up, and like they put the HoloLens on them, and like they had them walk down the hallway, and so it was like, you know, it was like a waypoint, like a Halo waypoint was just like in the middle of the hallway, and they're like, no shit, like that thing's not fucking there, but I can see it. And then they're walking down the hallway, and then like there's like a point where they look left, and they just have two little boxes on the wall, but they have it so that the HoloLens recognizes those two little boxes, and it turns it into a window, and they make the window like looking out, like basically like if you're looking outside of a spaceship, like you're in the hallway looking out into like, you know, you're like orbiting Earth, and there's like a bunch of spaceships, like that's what they have, and you can just like look out into it. It's like in 3D. That's what it looks like. And so they said that shit was pretty cool because like when HoloLens came out, they you know, they didn't seem like kind of game applications for it, so they didn't really know what they're gonna do with it. But they can see like, oh, this shit has potential that could be. You know, I'm not sure how much this shit's gonna cost, but it is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then people are already talking about like, you know, making museums and stuff like that, where it's like you go into Alcatraz, you put on the HoloLens, and then they project like, what this is what the prison used to look like. And it just like, you know, it creates an image overlay on top of the prison you're actually in and what it used
Now
to
you
look
can
like.
experience the ravages of time. And
So yeah, that stuff was pretty cool. And they still they had Oculus demos. People were talking about that were pretty cool. Like there's some weird thing where you're like a guy was talking to you with like giant hands or whatever, and then they were playing with the dimensions of it, and like suddenly you're large and suddenly you're small, and like it was just like, you know, it was. And like they you know, take the helmets off people, and they'd be like, have to like wait for a second, like, oh wait, I'm in the real world now.
yeah, I'm looking at some of this stuff. This is pretty crazy.
Otherwise, what does Microsoft have? They got a new Forza coming out this Christmas, so that should be good. They have Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider games coming out on Xbox One only.
Okay.
So that'll be the only way you'll get that. I don't remember what the hell else they have. Oh yeah, and you have Halo 5's coming out.
Yeah, and the reboot, or not reboot, reimagining, I'm sorry, of Gears of War, the original. They're
Yeah.
like a Master Chief collection thing of that.
Yeah. But that really doesn't make sense. Like it's like an HD remake of a game that was originally in high definition.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work, but
I think they're just like whatever new. I think they just remade the game in a new engine.
yeah.
So all I have to do is graphical work, but like as far as like gameplay and balance and stuff like that, that's already there for them. So I don't have to do that work. So all they have to do is just make it look pretty.
Okay.
And they showed gameplay of Gears of War 4, but I think that's like a couple years away. So, but
Yeah,
they
2016, they said.
Yeah, so they did have a working demo of it. I don't know, it didn't look that special, but it was like, well, it looks like a interesting Gears of War. It was at night, so I don't know, it's like everything was kind of muted. Yeah. The moon looked nice. So
yeah, the double moon.
Yeah. No, I think that someone said it was just one moon, and so like they're intimating that they're on a different planet now or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But because it was, as far as I can tell, it wasn't Marcus. So this might be same universe, but we don't know where we are. Maybe it's Earth. That'd be, you know, weird or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what else do they have?
That's some new some scenes from that Battlefront game. Some gameplay that looked kind of cool.
Yeah, they had one where Darth Vader shows up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the old Battlefront games, you could play as like hero characters eventually. So yeah, that stuff looks pretty neat. It looks like they found a way to make shooting in those games kind of interesting.
Well, it's the same people who did Battlefield, so
yeah.
And so
but,
yeah, those games.
But they also have like not a whole lot of time to get that game out. So and their last two games have been kind of fucked, at least multiplayer wise. And this game is exclusively multiplayer. So maybe they're more focused, but
yeah, that's all you got going on. So
I mean, those games are still great when they worked.
Yeah.
They
were awesome, if only.
And they mostly work for me, but I didn't have the whole problems that a lot of people had. But what else does Microsoft have? They have, damn it. Oh yeah, Dark Souls 3 is coming out. I'm not sure if it's exclusive to them or not, but yeah, it's coming out for Xbox.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's come out for everything. That looks pretty awesome. I guess the one thing I'm not sure if it's exclusive, but you'll be able to download mods for your Xbox One version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and those games have like crazy mods that like update the graphics and everything. Because like you can, like I saw a mod for Fallout New Vegas that basically made it look like a modern game, like just because they added all these lighting effects to it. It'll probably crash the game, but it makes it look really nice. That game, yeah, and that's coming out this year, so that should be pretty cool. I think they spent a really long time working on it. It doesn't necessarily, the graphics don't necessarily look that mind blowing, but that just means it'll probably work better. So,
Yeah.
You can download a game for your if you have an iPhone or iPad that they made for free. It's called Fallout Shelter. They're making that game like in their spare time, and they when they announced Fallout 4, or not when they announced it, but when they did the conference for Fallout 4, they announced that was available right then. So you can get that now. Apparently, it unseated Candy Crush from the iTunes App Store.
Really?
That looked pretty cool, but I can't play it yet because I don't have anything that'll play it. What else do they have? They had some crazy shit for that. Damn it. Oh. Oh yeah, they showed they have a new Doom coming out. That looked kind of interesting.
Oh, really? What's that one called?
Just Doom.
Oh, okay. When's that going to be out? I haven't played that game in forever.
I don't know when that's supposed to be. I think probably next year.
Oh, okay.
That had an interesting like melee kill system where you can shoot an enemy and like you'll see like they'll see like parts of the enemy like will start to like kind of blink or highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you like click the melee button when you're highlighting certain areas, you'll do like different melee kills, and I think that gives you like health back or ammo or something.
Oh, that's an incentive.
Yeah, and you do these really violent, unnecessarily kills when you do that.
Angry kill moves.
Yeah, there's one where you just like grab a guy's leg and shove it into his mouth, and his head explodes. It's like, okay.
Hey, some health.
Yeah. For your health. And then when you get the chainsaw, like that's all extra violent. There's like a part where like you're sawing, the guy like holds up a gun to try to block the chainsaw, so you're just like sawing through the gun and his shoulder diagonally. Yeah, so they're working on that. I can't remember what else Bethesda has. They had something else. Because they don't have a whole lot of stuff. I think they had something for their what do I say? Elder Scrolls or something like that.
Yeah, that was something Grayson said he was interested in.
I can't remember if they do the KOTOR games. No, I think that's EA. I can't remember. God damn it. There's a Star Wars online game. I'm not sure if they do it or not. Because I think EA has all the Star Wars license now for video games.
Oh, okay.
What else was there? Suddenly just forget everything that was big that happened. There's an interesting game for PS4 that looked pretty cool called Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, I think the term they give it is it's the post-apocalypse. So it's kind of like the Earth has reclaimed civilization kind of apocalypse, where
okay,
trees and stuff are like growing through like fallen civilizations.
Right, the slow apocalypse.
Yeah, and then like everyone has a basically looks like they're tribal, tribal nomads and stuff like that. But then all the animals on the planet they're like dinosaurs and shit, and kind of like that, and deer like, but they're all machines. Like, what the fuck's up with that?
That sounds weird. What was this game called again?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
And so like they show like a part where you're fighting like this Tyrannosaurus Rex type thing, and you're like you have this bow and arrow, but it's like made with metal and stuff, and so you're shooting parts of the T-Rex off, and there's a point where you shoot like this rocket launcher off of its shoulder, and then you grab the rocket launcher and you start firing at the T-Rex.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots. This is a strange looking game.
Yeah.
It's like people are like Native American, barbarian looking people, and we got robot animals.
Yeah.
Huh, that's a strange idea.
There's a weird symbiotic relationship between the machine animals and the humans, but they didn't get too much into the story. But that seemed like a really interesting and eye-catching concept. So
it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah. They had a demo that broke down for the new Uncharted game.
Uh-oh. Somebody got their tit in a ringer.
Well, apparently, like the first game, like the controller like fucked up or whatever, and so the game starts with like the cinematic, and it just goes right into the video game, and like there's like there's no transition. Like the cinematic looks exactly like the video game.
Oh.
And then you see the character that's supposed to be in control. He's just standing there. And he's not doing anything. I was like, oh, something's fucked up. And then it just starts over again. Like the video starts over again. And like,
That's terrible.
Yeah. So I guess everybody thought that they just had played a video. Like they brought a pre-rendered video of like, this is what it's like if you play it. But I guess they just had a second dev kit going. That looked pretty amazing. The shit that was going on there, because it looks really great. But yeah, that was kind of one of those harrowing moments. Just Cause 3 looks pretty awesome. That's a game where you had like C4 grappling the hook and an infinite spawning parachute.
Okay.
Like in Just Cause 2, you could like grapple the ground, hit your parachute, basically fly into the air, and then grapple onto like cars and shit and just like fly around the world. So now this thing, you can like grapple the top of a building, fling yourself past it, get a wingsuit on, keep flying, then hit your parachute, and just drop C4 all over the place and blow everything up. That game's gonna be awesome.
It's like what they call that, a sandbox game.
Yeah, it's very Grand Theft Auto, but more like character movement than car. You can use cars in those games, but why the fuck would you?
Yeah, he wants to do that when you can wear a wingsuit and throw C4
around. Yeah. There's a new Deus Ex game. Hopefully that'll be pretty good. I really like the last one. There's so many fucking trailers I gotta like go through here to find what games are out. Oh yeah, there's a game called For Honor, which seems like a more realistic sword fighting kind of game, but it's like multiplayer online, and it's basically like 3 hits and you're dead kind of thing. And it's like there's like 4 different disciplines. There's like knights, samurai, Vikings, and something else. This seemed kind of interesting. There was like one of the dudes I was getting the presentation had a fucking sword cane. But so like whatever.
Everyone likes the sword cane.
They have a new Ghost Recon game coming out that looks like an open world kind of Far Cry. I mean, Far Cry is over an open world thing, but it's more focused on the mission, and like you can choose how you do it. Like you can go in stealthy or just like, but like when you choose to go in stealthy, you don't just like, okay, be silent until everything goes fucked up. It's like, no, you choose to go in at night to infiltrate and be more stealthy, or you can just go into the day and like take advantage of stuff like that. That seemed interesting. There is, what is it? God damn it, can't remember the name of that game. Oh, Dishonored 2. I'm not sure if you ever know the first Dishonored game.
It sounds familiar, but you have to refresh my memory.
They had a really cryptic "What would you do with a drunken sailor song, and then it was like a first person stealth game.
Okay.
It had just a really interesting visual style to it. Oh man, I wish I had a better way to go through all the shit. So much. There's Giant Bomb is just full of shit because this is E3, so it's like they get so much shit that they have to like throw on the front page.
Yeah.
So now like everything's on there. XCOM 2 got. I think people knew that was coming out. Valve continues to not announce Half-Life 3.
Oh, yeah, why would they?
What the hell? Oh. Yeah, interesting. E3 seemed interesting this year because it wasn't just a bunch of sequels. There's some new shit coming out. So finally, looks like the promise of these new systems is finally kind of coming to fruition.
Like 3 years later.
Yeah. Because everyone's figuring out how much this shit costs and how long it's going to take to develop it, and everyone's pissed off about it.
Yeah. That is an issue.
And because all the games are getting released, broken day one. But it's like it's online. You just add a 6 GB patch to fix it. It's like fuck you. Still coming through trailers to see it. Oh yeah, the last StarCraft 2 expansion is going to be coming out.
Oh, what's that called?
Oh, something like The Void. Let me see. Where is it? God damn it. The podcast where I scour the internet. Legacy of the Void.
Oh, okay.
This one you're going to be taking on the Protoss.
Ah, the Protoss.
Yeah.
The enigmatic Protoss.
Yeah, because the last one, Heart of the Swarm, you're using the Zerg.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like surprisingly good because I never use a Zerg because they're not only just weird, but they're also aesthetically displeasing. So I never wanted to use them.
Yeah, they're just disgusting looking.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, some strobing gut that's going to give birth to the soldiers. It's like, that's gross.
It's just it was just a mass of mandibles and skin.
Yeah.
And acid. And just bloated carcasses running around. It's like, I don't know. But that game actually did a really good job of kind of training how to use it, and you use the advantages of the Zerg is that you can just like spawn thousands of enemies at once if you have things set up right.
Yeah, a 500 weak Zerg will still overrun a human encampment.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any value. It's not the same as like, oh, that little man died. Terrible. Help that little man. It's just, oh, that slimy, gutty thing died. Oh well, just grow another one in this pit.
Yeah.
This vaginal opening it shoots out of. It's like, boy, the people that make this are really sick.
So this time you take on the Protoss, who are basically the technological advanced alien civilization.
The dying alien civilization.
Yeah. There's a new Hitman game coming out. It's a cool trailer, but I'm not really that interested in another Hitman game. So.
Yeah, Grayson liked the first one a lot.
Did he? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what you consider the first one to be, because there's like 5 of them.
Well, yeah, he used to play it on his Xbox 360.
Okay.
It was one I bought for $5. It was the gold edition, so.
Oh, I probably had like all of them on there.
Yeah. So yeah, like the first disc I bought him, he liked. He's like, look, you got to hide his body so nobody knows. It's like, oh, these are good life skills.
Yeah, Hitman Blood Money was really good. Oh yeah, they're doing another South Park RPG game.
Oh, good. That one was really good. That last one. I even played like a whole day of that. I mean, I didn't get like super far, but it held my interest. Grayson showed me the funny stuff.
That's time they're kind of ditching the kind of fantasy element, and they're going more into the making fun of kind of heroes, comic book kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because they have that whole side to South Park too.
The coon.
Yeah. and so the name of the game is South Park, the fractured but whole. But you know, it just goes into the fractured butthole. Like that's basically how you say it.
Like I was telling Mom the other day, those guys are like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of our day. They're the best song and dance men in the business right now. Is Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Metal Gear Solid 5 still looks pretty fucking cool, and I don't know what the fuck's that's probably going to be the end of that series. So that's going to be weird.
Oh, really going to end it, huh?
Yeah, because they fired
oh, that's right. Yeah, you told me.
They fired the main guy, and like
brilliant Japanese man, right?
Hideo Kojima. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's fire him.
Well, they're just getting out of video games, so
yeah.
Because
what'd you say? They're doing the gambling.
Yeah.
Japanese gambling for chits.
Yeah, because they're about to change the law there, where you can just gamble for money now. You don't have to do that weird, like, you know, ring around or whatever to get around it.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
They're doubling down on cell phone stuff, which they get a fuck ton of money there. They have a bunch of gambling machines that make them a fuck ton of money, and they just continue to bring in money every day. And then I think they're also building a casino. So I think
what is it with Japanese cell phones? Do people just not have home computers there anymore?
Well, it's like the rooms are so small there that just nobody has like a setup for like a TV like center or whatever. So everybody just has a cell phone. So like, you know, it's like, you know, nobody has that's why console gaming isn't really like a big thing there anymore, because everybody's just on their cell phone, or they have like a 3DS or PS Vita or whatever.
Huh. Yeah, I just forget. I always forget they have not much. They're not into wide open spaces.
Yeah. That's all. That's about all I can remember. There's a bunch. Yeah, check out the E3 stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff there.
Okay, I'm watching some of the Giant Bomb stuff right now.
And Arkham Knight comes out next week, so that's like the next big video game. If you didn't get Witcher 3, Arkham Knight might be a thing.
Well, right now I'm in the Alien Isolation.
Okay.
And Halo Chief Collection.
Oh, Master Chief Collection.
Master Chief Collection. Yeah. Alien Isolation, I'm not too far in. Master Chief, I'm kind of just playing that just to like, because I realized when I'm playing these games, it's like it's been a while since I've done this.
Yeah.
I really don't have I'm gonna have to get that Xbox Elite controller.
Oh yeah.
The high sticks. Did you talk about that?
No, that's okay. They announced that there. That's really fucking expensive, but I think I'm gonna get one.
Can you use it with your computer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I have a wired controller, but you can use an Xbox One controller if you plug it in right now, because they don't have a dongle for the PC, but if you plug it in directly, you can use it. But I still just have an old wired 360 controller. It just works great. I think it's actually a smart move, because I think Microsoft's controller has just, like, by default, has become the default controller for everything, like PC and 360, and it just kind of works for everything.
Right.
So it makes sense to just like, hey, why don't we just, like, we're selling a fuck ton of these controllers, and like, why don't we just like make a really expensive
one? A premium one,
yeah. Because like they already have like these, you can get these attachments. They're like $45 where you can like kind of rig up your 360 controller to have like all these triggers on it, where you basically can access all the buttons and never take your thumbs off the sticks.
That's a good idea.
But that's what this controller does. It puts a bunch of paddles on the underside of the controller to make them button presses, so you don't have to take your thumbs off the sticks.
Yeah, and it's also very modular too, and it comes with a goddamn standard size head jack. Because I had to buy that $20 thing so I could, because I play with, when I play games, I can't have the TV up at full blast, so I play with really nice headphones, and it's like, hey, where does this plug in? Oh, you cheap fucks. So then I have to spend $20 for the adapter.
Yeah, they're gonna. I don't know that they're gonna release new controllers, like standard controllers that are gonna have normal head jacks in them.
So I shouldn't have spent that money, but
yeah, you would have spent $60 for another controller, so
yeah,
saved half price. But now you're gonna spend $150 for one more controller.
Yeah, well, probably Grayson will probably have one, but I don't think I'm really need the Elite.
Yeah,
be like, I'm gonna start golfing. Better go get Callaway clubs. It's like, no, that's not.
Well, I'm gonna buy it just because it's gonna work for my PC and my 360. So it's almost like I'm getting one. I need an extra controller. So
yeah.
So it's gonna. And it has these little. You can. It also has these little things on it where it chokes up on the trigger, so that there's less of a pull. So it's like you basically just hit the trigger button
in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you're playing a shooter, you don't have to. You're saving milliseconds on your trigger pull.
Right.
Has interesting D-pad. Like I've never seen one like that before. I wonder if it actually like makes things better. You can swap it out for a normal D-pad, but
it's got that kind of squared. It looks like those drums that they play in third world countries. I don't know what those are called. The ones that are like bong 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 bong. Yeah, it kind of has that look to it.
It's like a concave but squared circle.
Yeah, I don't know what they call those drums, but that's what it looks like.
It's almost like an octagon where they haven't put the fences all the way up yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something. It's strange. I just think the tall sticks are a good idea.
Yeah, you can get short sticks too.
Yeah,
it's like short, medium, and tall sticks, and then the D-pad switch out, and I think you get different triggers. And they showed like all the engineering that went into it, and they had a machine like it does a 360 with the controller like a million revolutions, and like the thing never broke. I'm like, well, that's good, because like
that's a good sign.
a bunch of my old 360 controllers are fucked up, or it's like if I play a game with them. Like if I start the game, like as first person shooter, like it just immediately starts like veering off in this direction because like it somehow has like this standard wave to it. And like when you're playing the game, I don't notice it, but it is there. Like this, it's slowly going off in this direction because the controller's fucked up. So. Yeah, it's just really interesting that that Microsoft would kind of make this really premium hardware. But like I said, like being that they basically have the Xbox One market pretty in shape for controllers, but they also have the PC market locked down because you can't play PS4. You can use PS4 controllers on the PC. It's just kind of fucked up at the moment. It's not that you have to like download drivers and stuff.
Yeah,
360 controller works perfectly if you have a wired one. You have to do some weird shit if you have a wireless controller. You either have to get the dongle for a 360 controller. But with the Xbox One controller, you can just plug it straight in with the USB cord. But they don't have a dongle for it yet, so you can't play it wirelessly on your PC. So it's all these weird things, but yeah. Yeah. E3.
E3.
Video games are coming out. I think the big ones is that Fallout 4 is definitely coming out this year. I think everything else we kind of knew was coming out. And Last Guardian exists.
What does that mean?
It was a game. Do you remember a game called Shadow of the Colossus?
Is that where they're fighting the huge things with swords?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like these gigantic enemies, and that's all the game is. You fight like 8 of them.
Yeah.
Very moody. It's like kind of those. It's one of those games that we refer to like in like an artistic way. Like if people don't say games aren't art, you like refer to them to that game, and it's like say this isn't art, and then be like I don't get it. And so the guy who made that was making another game called Last Guardian, and I don't know. There's a lot of people, a lot of blow ups happen with that guy and Sony, and so the game basically Like seemed like it was never going to exist, and somebody finally took the reins of it, and it's going to actually exist now.
So he really was an artist. He couldn't get along with his funders at all, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and they're remaking Final Fantasy VII, like a honest like remake, like not just updating the previous version. It's going to be a total remake.
Huh.
Which for some reason people want, I guess, or whatever. Like I remember being that a cool game at the time, but there's always been this debate about 7 being like one of the worst Final Fantasy 7 games, but it was just kind of the first one that like blew people's minds in the early PlayStation games, where it's like, this looks amazing. It's like, no, that's just a cinematic. That's not the actual game.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the old cinematics versus the games.
Yeah.
Watched any of the new season of *Halt and Catch Fire* yet?
I didn't know there was a new season out yet. Shit.
Yeah, I think so.
How many episodes are they in?
6.
Damn, I didn't even know that started up yet. Well, I guess once Mad Men was over with, they had to start up with something. Shit. No, how is it?
It's pretty good.
All right.
They're now they're getting into like we can,
because it seemed like the end of the last season that they're going to start getting into like, here's where we like pretend we created the internet before it actually happened.
It's like, yeah, we can network these computers together. What? That's madness. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They invented the PC, then their company got bought and closed down, and then now they're back trying to, like we can do all this stuff.
Okay.
No, there's three episodes in. I just watched the 4th one.
I'll have to watch that. But does it seem better or like even keel with the
It's a
first season?
It's a little better. I don't think everyone's not fucking each other and having weird eye contact. They're actually like kind of getting into the guts of like, oh, you have to invent this. It's like, you link these cute computers together. If you can make a language and and we can make these things not fry each other, and oh yeah, and everyone's trying to steal from us all the time, and we're trying to steal from each other, and we don't know who's But yeah, it's a little less turgid, I'd say, than the first year.
Okay.
That's at least my take on it.
I saw all of the new season of Orange is the New Black.
What'd you think of that? I don't have access to that, so
that's on Netflix. So
okay.
As soon as the season comes out, you get the whole season. So I watched all of it. It's yeah, they clearly ran out of the book.
Oh, are they just doing their own thing?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things that make the season very uneven, and I think being that you can watch all the episodes straight through, it kind of hurts it a lot.
Amplifies the effect.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like sudden character changes that are very, very complete 180s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like there's one time there's they have a new thing where they do the good old they get bought by a private company because the prison was going to shut down, but they were able to sell themselves to a private company. So now they're doing the thing where they cut the normal staff's hour and then they hire part-time people. So then basically everyone's working part-time.
Oh, yeah.
That old game.
Yeah, that'll fuck the hell out of people.
And so like one of these guys they hire, he's they have one of the prisoners as a driver. It's like she drives everybody everywhere. And so they have this weird relationship where like she knows everything goes on in the prison, and he's kind of bumbling, and she kind of like shows him what to do and kind of takes advantage of their time together. And then they have, then they like eventually have sex, and it's kind of weird one-sided relationship where he's like, I'm the prison guard and you're the prisoner, but like it's not too rapey yet. And then like the next time she's still kind of like hitting on him so she can get things, and then like he makes a statement, it's like, I want you to like me because you actually like me, not that you think you have to. And it's like, okay, this guy's pulling it back. And then the next episode, he just straight up rapes her.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't really care if you like me. I'm just here for the sex, the violent, one-sided sex.
Yeah, and it's like, and then so like that was like really weird. It's like you almost gave this guy 2 dimensions, and you just made him a 1-dimensional character. There's one guy. He kind of becomes the warden of the prison, and they have a really nice episode for him where you see that his entire life he's just doing the right thing, and he just always gets fucked for it. Like he was like a wrestling star, and like he decides he's going to kind of like have this wrestling match with this mentally disabled kid, and then like the kid like dislocates his shoulder, and then he never wrestles again. Because he wanted that kid to have like to give that kid his dream to wrestle, and no one else was going to wrestle him, so he did. And then he has this rock band, and they're about to go on tour, and he gets back together with his girlfriend, and she gets pregnant with some other guy's kid like in between, and so he decides he's going to stay home and go get this prison job so he can like take care of the kid. And then the rock band's back in town, and they're all successful now, and she decides she's going to leave him for try to make a family with him.
Oh, Jesus.
And so like you'd see like where this guy is just constantly getting fucked over, and then but also like in that episode he's helping them because he's kind of on the other side of the guards. He's kind of the manager, but he's helping them organize a union so they can have a guard union there.
Yeah.
And then like right in like near the last episode, he decides he's just gonna fuck him over and try to get what's his. And it's like it's like you have all this nice build up where this guy's constantly getting fucked over for doing the right thing, and so like maybe have him do the right thing one more time, then have it work out. It's like, no, we're just gonna have him just be like just purely the bad guy, and he's gonna fuck everybody over, and not only is he not gonna get anything for himself, he's gonna fuck everybody else over at the same time too.
Right.
Then you have Piper, who she's the character that the book is based on. Like she wrote the book. So in last season they had her lie on she was in a court, and she like lied under oath and got caught for it, so they can stick her in prison for a couple extra years to have more seasons out of it.
Oh, okay.
So now she's there, and she's doing electrical work. Now she's like sewing panties. They're using prison labor to like sew these panties and sell them, and everybody gets $1 an hour, but they're selling these panties for like $90 a piece.
Oh yeah, that's all this stuff's real.
And she finds out that she can make another pair of panties with the material they have if they just kind of like set up the design just right. And then she tells like one of the guys that, and he's just like, shut up. And so she starts secretly making these pairs of panties, and then she's gonna sell them to creeps online who like to like smell used panties.
Jesus.
And so they set up this whole like it's this really worn by prisoners and like all this kind of thing, and then they sell it for like $75 a pair, and so she starts making a bunch of money, and then she has to deal with the prisoners when they find out how much money they're making, and all they're getting out of it is like flavoring from ramen noodle packets, because like they just changed the food, or it's all, they don't like cook up their own food, they now just get these bags that they put in, like so they hate all the food, and the only way they can make it tolerable is they use like the flavoring packets from ramen noodles.
Oh God.
So she bought out the commissary, and so that's what she was paying her panty like wearing prisoners in, was just ramen noodle
flavor packets.
Yeah. but then they kind of revolt, and so she has to like find ways to put money in these accounts for them.
Yeah.
So like that's a fine, kind of funny diversion, but like at the end of the season, they basically make her like she's like some kind of mob boss in this minimum security prison, which is always the kind of the disconnect with the show. What was the main problem with season 2 is that the show basically became Oz in a minimum security prison where like people are going to be out in like 6 months to like 2 years. Like nobody's
going to be killing each other, broken glass to people and raping each other. I can't believe all the great actors that came from Oz.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
But I mean, it's still good. It's just somewhat I find logically disappointing, somewhat. But I don't know. This is the showrunner that does this. She did Weeds, and there was always weird diversion in Weeds too. But that still was normally a pretty good show, at least for the first 4 seasons.
Yeah, I remember hearing good things about it.
There was a natural ending point to that show, and that went on for another 4 seasons.
Yeah, it should have ended long ago, but. All right. Well, I'm about. I think that's about it for the week. What do you think?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
I think that's all we got. I think the tank's empty tonight. Be back next week with more energy.
All right.
And hopefully, might start the Southern Reach shit next week. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I've read all the books, so maybe we'll do that. But for tonight,
Game of Thrones ended.
Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah. Did that end how the book ends?
I don't want to reveal anything yet.
Okay. The last person to die in the episode, did he die in the book?
The captain of the Night's Watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
So they're not they're off book, but they're not either. They're sort of somewhere in the middle.
I was like, that was pretty much there's no one to root for after him. He's pretty much the last good person. Well,
the hero becomes Tyrion's brother, Jaime. He starts to root for him actually because he realizes it's like, wow, I've really been a fucked up, crazy person. Yeah, but in the book, so
the one brother and Hodor was not anywhere in this season. Is that intentional, or are they supposed to? Did they die that I don't remember? Or?
No, that just kind of petered out. I think.
Okay.
There's some competing ideas going on, and it was like that in the books too. It's like, what's this going to be? Is this going to be this? Is this going to be that? And some things just got dropped.
Okay.
Then they come back, and like all of a sudden in a crazed way, like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. What they're either they're completely dropping it, or they're going to make it extra special by bringing it back next season.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines.
Okay,
but I'll have to refresh my memory.
All right.
Anyway, this week for the American Greed Factory podcast, this is Nathan.
Scotland. Goodbye, America.